Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, whenever I first started playing Space Engineers, this is going to be a short little video. Because I've thought about this. And yes, I need to mute my phone. That always reminds me. Thank you for reminding me. But when I first started playing Space Engineers, um, I got it on the PS5. I searched YouTube because Space Engineers doesn't come with, a basic, okay, this is what you do and how you do it. Yeah, it's got a tutorial at the scenario type of tutorial that you can run through. Um, but it's not real helpful as far as controllers go, you know, because I mean this is a PC game that was ported over and converted and much appreciated uh, for Keen making it available so that PlayStation and console players can play it. So I searched YouTube. The ones I guess I can drive while I do this. Uh, the tutorials that I found, all the controllers are Xbox, and these are the buttons you push on Xbox, and these are the buttons, you know. Uh, and so, yeah, I kind of struggled at figuring out which buttons did what. It looked like there was water over this way, so yes, there is. Yes, awesome. Um, I've been playing this like all day today, and I built a ship, and it was a pretty good sized ship, and somehow, whenever I pulled my bottles out, um, the ship didn't like it too well, and the whole thing come crashing down, which then that was instant death. And since I'd already gotten rid of my rover here, it took me all the way to the very beginning again because that I died. I mean, I died hard too, and didn't have a respawn pod. I'd gotten rid of my respawn pod, and the ship that I built didn't have a med bay in it, so that was kind of discouraging. Some things it'll show you on the screen. So it says press square to enter the cockpit. Squash, press your D-pad, which your D-pad is the big middle pad right there in the middle. Uh, so some things like that, you know, you you can figure out because it does tell you stuff like your drill. Let's pull it out. All right. Now, if if you push your circle button, you squat, so you go down lower, which enables you to get closer to the ground. If you push your R2 button, you drill and you see all the little rocks that it leaves there. So you can collect those. Now, if you just want to bore a hole down to where you're actually getting rock, and you don't want all those rocks or dirt, more or less. You want some actual rock. You're going to push your L2 and see it doesn't leave any rocks, and it gets down into the ground a bit faster. Now, if you see down at the bottom where I've got the like 4 little arrows right beside our level bar, the up is what I'm currently on. That's my drill, and that's you're using your little left, right, up, down. That puts it onto the welder. That puts it onto the grinder, and then our drill. Now, if you push your R1, then up, that'll put you in third person. See, it puts me back into first person. Okay. Your face mask is to the left, but let me move this way so you can kind of see it a little bit better out of the sun. There we go. Now, see, there's a little flashlight going towards the right. Push it. Now we have light. Hey, Mama Bear. I'm doing a quick tutorial for PlayStation controls. Alright, so we want to keep going down, and we don't want to collect any rock because we're actually going for some actual minerals. So we're going to push our L2, and we'll just keep going down. You don't want to actually go straight down, and these are actual basic. Now see how the rock's totally different? That's the rock that we actually want. If we're going to get rock, that's going to give us the most rock. But see, if we went straight down, see how we went straight down? Now we can't get out of it without actually using our jetpack. If we use our jetpack, then we can come out of it. And when you first start, you don't have a lot of hydrogen. So we'll go back over here to our survival kit, which is over here on the side. And these are self-explanatory. It does show on the screen. Push the square button to fill back up. So it fills our energy. I didn't change the icons. I use a mod that the icons are a little bit different. They're easier to look at and see. If I think about it, my next video, I'll go back to the basic icons, the vanilla, as they say, icons. Alright, somewhere over here I started drilling a hole. There's my rover, so somewhere along here. Alright, so let's go into third person so we can see it a little bit better. Now this is going to be another thing. If you push your L1 and L2 and then pull back on your left joystick, you'll pan out. And see, there's our hole over there. Now, L1 and L2 together and push in, then we go in. And if we push our right, then we angle up or down, left or right with our right joystick while holding L1 and L2. Now we'll go back into first person since we found our hole. Now down here, if we want to collect, to show what we have in inventory, we push the D pad, which is the pad right there in the middle, the big pad right there in the middle. Push it, and it shows, okay, we've got 13 grams of stone. We got our drill, which these aren't even level 1 drills. Grinders, I mean, you start out with just the bare minimum, and you work your way up. You'll have to, the way Keen has done it now, you actually have to turn in a tool along with the other resources in order to upgrade your tools. And you have to do it in a progressive type, more or less, to move up to level 3 tools. But they'll get the job done. They're just slower. Alright, now I know I've mentioned this if you've watched any of my other videos. In order to pick up, it says the square. So it shows you right there. But if you hold the square while you're drilling, which to drill, you're going to push R2, then it automatically collects the stone as you're drilling, or most of it. And you'll see that little white bar that's kind of creeping up, and it creeps up real slow on these earlier tools because you're not drilling as fast. So earlier you can upgrade your tools, or well, I'll show you here a little bit. The earlier you can upgrade your tools or find places. Let me fly out of here real quick. Find places where you can buy tools, because you'll start out with 10,000 credits. Then the better off you are. Okay, so now that we have some rock, we can go in here and then press, all the instructions are right there. I press the D pad, that pulls up my survival kit. Okay, now you can't put stone directly into the survival kit. And when you switch over to production, which these are all self-explanatory, if you look at the screen, then you're going to push, you know, your L1 or your R1 or R2 to move through the different things. But when you go into production, on your rover, what you start out with, the reason you want to hurry up and get everything built is because here you actually have to go in up to there and it says ingots. You have to make ingots first. Okay? Now it shows you, you know, you can push your hold L1 and X to put it in Q. That puts 10. If you hold R1 and X, now you do 100. You hold L1, R1, and X, and then you make 1,000. So you have to make ingots before you can make anything else in here. And you're going to want to make your steel plate so that, you know, you can craft different things. But you have to have the ingots. And it'll make basically iron ingots from there. But you're left with, the side effect is you're left with the gravel. See there, I've got gravel. And gravel does nothing in the game. So, unless you have a mod, and I always put in the gravel mod. It's on Mod.io, plus it's on Steam, so you can get it, either one, in Steam or in Mod.io. And it'll take gravel and refine it down to give you other ores out of it, basically. So it helps get rid of some of that gravel. And I think you actually need gravel for, seems like you need gravel for one other thing. A gravity component, maybe. It's irrelevant. We'll figure that out in a later episode. All right, so I still have more stone, so I need to put more stone in there and get rid of it. And you can see my survival kit is making more. So you'll mine away and put it in there, and you'll start building. Okay. Another thing with the controls that I struggled with was the flight up, down, because, okay, let's see, let me put this in creative mode here real quick. Let's do this. To get into your admin while I'm doing this, you're going to push your R1 and your triangle. That's going to put you in your admin. And from here, you can go in and do different things. This also opens up if you're doing multiplayer and your different safe zones and giving permission and stuff like that. Because if you're doing multiplayer and you're hosting it, everybody's coming in, they're playing on your map, then you'll need to get into your admin screen in order to get some stuff done. You can see, show all players. It'll show where everybody is on the map. Uh, you can change the time of day. So if it's nighttime and you want it daytime again, then you can move the sun up into the air. I have mine. Typically, I have my worlds set up for 8-hour days. You can have it set however you want. Um, but that's me. All right, I'm going to put this in creative mode real quick because I'm going to grab a ship real quick. Let's grab. We'll grab a little miner. All right, there's our cute little miner. Just a real cute, easy little guy that is something real easy that you can actually build from your survival kit. And fairly easy so that you're not always hand drilling. Let me zip up here real quick, pop into the cockpit. All right, so to go up, and I mean, I looked everywhere because I built a ship. I really wanted to learn how to fly. We didn't have, all we had drop pods, and so you didn't have much choice but to walk everywhere, fly in your jetpack everywhere, or build a rover. You could build a ship, but I didn't know how to fly it. I looked and looked and looked and looked all over the place to figure out how to fly this thing. Couldn't figure it out. It's super, super easy. All right. To go up, you push X. And you go up. To go down, I was like, okay, now how do I go down? To go down, you push circle, your circle button, and then you're going down. Now I can figure out how to go left and right and nose down and nose up. I mean, that's your right joystick. To go sideways, it's your left joystick. And to go forward, it's your left joystick. Now, I'm going to pop into third person. Remember how to do third person? You push R1 and your up button. That puts us in third person. All right. Now, if you look at that right beside all my tools, where my tools are normally at, there's a horizon level. It's slightly tilted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my R1. Oh, thanks, Thin. Appreciate it. I'm just doing a quick tutorial. I'm trying to keep it under 30 minutes just on the basics of a PS5 controller. All right, so to level out your horizon, you're going to push your L1 and then your right joystick. We're going to go left. Now we'll go right to level out this way. That rocks it back and forth. Now if I push L1 and L2, just like with your main character, you can adjust your vision on how you see the ship, which comes in real handy because that big circle that I'm looking at right at the end there, that big round thing, that is your docking clamp. And when you want to dock and you start backing in, you're going to lose how close you are to that. And I can't tell you how many ships I blew up because I backed in too quick and wasn't lined up. So having the ability to move so that you can make sure that you're going back into that, and then making sure that you're lined up when you're backing in, helps tremendously. Another thing, when you're using your drill on the front of this thing, is exactly like when you're using your drill in your hands, okay? Now, see those black spots? A little side note, those black spots are where minerals are. Now, if I remember correct, I have an ore detector on here, so it'll tell me what's directly below me. And I can see that I have ice, silicone, and there's some magnesium over this way. So let's get a little closer and we'll see if we can't get some magnesium. Now I want to see how close I am to the surface. Now I can do this because I have plenty of gyros on here. Alright, so I'm lining my magnesium so that it's 36 meters down below there. Now, to start your drill up, let's go into, to start your drill up, it's just like using your hand drill. You're going to push your R2 button to collect the ore, your L2 button just to get down in there and start drilling without collecting. So we're not going to collect any ice because all we're doing right now is just making a hole so that we can get down to silicone, which is what much closer. It's only 17.4, 16. $15. Nine meters, getting closer. Now we can start to see it now. And I'm just going back and forth so that I've got room to get my ship in here without damaging my ship. I'm 5 meters. away from my silicone. Now what I'm going to do is, and I'm still pushing my L2 button because I don't want any of the ice. I'm trying to collect my silicone. And I still have plenty of ice showing. Now, down at the bottom right, it shows how heavy our ship is. Our ship is, what is it, 25,000 kilograms. Now watch whenever I start collecting rock. You'll see that it's, our ship is going, the weight is going up. So we're getting heavier and heavier. You don't want to get too heavy that you can't fly out of here. And I'm just going to go straight back till I get out of here. Careful not to hit anything. Here's where getting it in third person may help. Something else that you can do is just turn on your drills and just drill your way out. Drill you a big enough hole that you can just turn yourself around. To the point where you can move on out. All right, let's level ourselves out, raise ourselves up. And remember, to go up, you're pushing your X button. And we'll go ahead and land over by our rover. To go down, we're going to push circle, circle. We don't want to go down too quick, so I'm just lightly tapping my circle to bring her down. while I'm going forward so that I get closer to my rover. Again, I'm just lightly tapping. And we'll go ahead and level out. Now, I don't think that I have landing gear on this. If I had landing gear and you want to lock into place, then you're going to push your triangle. But it says unable to lock. All right. So let's go in here. Give you a little advanced learning. All right. So we've got large, flat atmospheric thrusters. Okay. If I click on that, it shows it over there. All right. But I'm going to hold L1 and then go ahead and now keep holding L1, keep holding it, and go up and then push my X again. Now it highlights all three of them. All right. Now I can move with my joystick over, and I'm going to make a group. Okay, so you click on your group, it'll pull up your keyboard. You can't see my keyboard, but I'm going to put this as Atmos. Okay, so now it says Atmos. Be sure and go down and push save. So now it saves it as a group. Now you see how the block is turned on? Let's go up here, find our, need to go ahead and grab these too while I'm at it. All of these thrusters. These are my left and rights and all of that. I'm going to go ahead and grab these real quick while I'm here. Grab all of those. We're going to go over. We're going to create another group. We're going to call this one Atmos left, right, left, and I'll just put initials here. All right. Now if we go into Atmos, where it says on, we can turn all of them off. We'll do the same thing with our other Atmos thrusters, which has your left, forward, right, and we'll turn them off. So now we've just turned all our thrusters off. If we come out and we look, none of them are working at the moment. I'm trying not to give too much, but I want you to be able to come to this and go, oh, how do I? And you can pop back in, you can watch the video. Hopefully it's not too long that you're like, oh, I've got to go back in and go through all of this again. All right, so now that we have our two groups here, we get into our cockpit, all right, where our tools are normally. The one that's up, that is on our drill. The one to the left that looks like a connector, guess what it does? It's for your connector. Now the one to the left and to the bottom, I mean to the right and down, both of those are empty. You don't see anything there. So if we push it and hold it, then it pulls up. And we will push, now there at the top, it shows you the different groups that you can go, or the different buttons to push to toggle between the different things, okay? So those are self-explanatory. I'm trying to go into things that aren't necessarily self-explanatory, all right? So we've moved down to groups now. That first one is Atmos, okay? So that's the large Atmos that we did the first time, all right? So we're going to push on it. We'll go to the first one where we can toggle the block on and off. There's all the other, it's going to give you a whole list of other things that you can do, okay? I'm just going to put it in there so that I can toggle it on and off, so whenever I stop, then I can turn it off. Let's go down. We hold it and it pulls it up. Then we push our L1, goes to our groups, move to the next one. That's our atmospheric thrusters for left front and right and back. We push X. There again, I'm turning it on and off. All right. So now all we have to do is just push left and it turns it, and down and it turns them on. So now they're all on. I can push I can turn them on and off from inside here. I'm hoping that I've covered a lot of different things. Next time, on our next one that I do, I'll get into some of the basic buildings and what buttons to push to get your building menu up so that you can start building things, and how to put them in a build planner so that when you go up to your production, then it's already in the queue of what to build. I hope this helped you. If there's any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments. And in the next one, like I said, we'll start building something basic to get you started from when you first landed to getting your power, because you're going to either want to have solar panels or wind turbines. Those are two easy ones to get started with. Then you can move to hydrogen engines and nuclear power, so that, you know, and being close to a lake, we can actually start doing some hydrogen stuff. But until next time, be kind to one another, and I love you guys, and you have a wonderful day.